Okay, thank you. You may all be seated.
You might want to remind everybody to mute if they're not speaking.
Okay, if you're not speaking, for those you on line with us, could you mute until you want to speak, please? Mr. Gwynn, you look like you don't understand.
I'm here. I hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Don't get too close to me now. I'm contaminated.
Okay, can you mute until you need to speak?
As soon as the mute thing, I will.
Okay, very good. Okay, we'll move on. Board member reports. Board members may have a discussion about conferences, visitations, legislation, special recognition, donations, etc. Does any board member have anything they would like to discuss at this time? Hearing none, we will proceed to move on. Superintendent's report. Item 2.2.1, updates on the Yuma Union High School District website. Ms. Thompson, Mr. Patton.
Thank you, President Townsend. This evening, we'd like to go through some of the updates and changes to the Yuma Union High School District website, yumaunion.org, and just kind of highlight some of the features that have been brought more to the forefront as we know that this has become a big source of information. I'd like to state, and you'll probably hear me state it over and over, that yumaunion.org contains the most up-to-date information for families to access. And from that site, you can also go to your campus site to access specific things to your own campus as a student and family for a particular campus. So Mr. Patton is going to take us through yumaunion.org.
Thank you, Mrs. Thompson.
Here, sit here,
Okay.
and I will be socially distanced.
Okay, sorry about the confusion there. So a few things that we have done to the website to make information a little bit more accessible to our families includes adding a tab in this upper ribbon, and this will show up on both the mobile devices and the websites for our district and all of our campuses. It just says COVID-19. If you hold your mouse over it or hover over it on mobile, it'll give you options to see information about the 2020-21 school year, information from the CDC, and also Yuma County Health information as well. After tonight, we'll also have our return to learning plan located on that tab as well. So you could click that and get right to that information immediately. Additionally, you may have noticed on the homepage, we have this graphic up for accessing the board meeting, but the typical first thing that you will see is the return to learning. So if we clicked that, or if we clicked the COVID-19 tab, it would take us to a page that shows all of the most updated information. So for example, we have information about our new online registration that's current as of today. When we talked about the governor's executive order, that was on there the day after the order was announced. And then we have some important links on the right side of the page as well, just health information in our campus level and the CDC and the local level. And that return to learning plan will be there additionally once that is published on the website. Going back to the homepage, you're also able to get to some of these things that are important very quickly on the right side of the web page, again on the desktop or laptop version, as well as on the mobile device by clicking a couple of these buttons. So if you needed information about Yuma Online Distance Academy, you could just simply get to that by clicking this button here and get all the information that you need about how to register for that. And then again, just to make sure that it's not hard to find, you can access the return to learning information all from this button here on the page as well. One other good place to get information that I'd recommend for our families is in this news section. But for the most part, I would stick to, if you're interested in information about the 2021 school year or about the latest health information regarding the district, I would go directly to this COVID-19 tab. And to give people an idea of what it will look like at the campus level, if I go to my campus website, say I'm at Yuma High School, I will see the same information here about return to learning. And if I click that, or if I click the COVID-19 tab on the Yuma High page, it will take me to all of the same information, but it'll keep me on my school's website page. So I don't have to go back to the district site. And that's something that we're happy to have upgraded currently that wasn't going on during the end of last school year, during the school closure. If you clicked something on the campus website regarding COVID-19 or regarding the school closure, you would go back to the district site. So we've implemented a way to keep you on the campus site and all of that information be updated one fell swoop from the district level, but it can be updated on 7 sites. And that is all I have, unless you guys have some.
Is there a question? Okay. Anybody have any questions or thanks for Mr. Patton?
I just wanted to say thank you for making it so simple and uniform across the schools. It's very helpful.
No problem.
Okay, very good, very nice, thank you. That looked pretty simple to navigate, like maybe even I could, so.
You don't want to remind people to mute, because I think somebody that's not muted, I don't know who it is. Remind people to mute.
Okay, once again, we'll ask if you're on, would you please mute until you have something to say, so we don't get disrupted, so. Okay, item 2.2.2, student leader presentation. We have Corey and Renee, and Mr. Brienza will introduce them.
All right, thank you, President Townsend. As we look at return to learning, we worked with our assistant principals to get a group of elected leaders from each campus, 2 elected leaders from each campus, to work with Mr. Patton on return to learning plans and how that might look on the campuses. And I do have Assistant Principal Corey Semler with us today. Renee Sheldall was not able to join us, but I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Semler, who actually has some students with him. So, Mr. Semler.
Hey, thank you. Good evening, and thanks for having us. I'm Corey Semler, Assistant Principal of Activities at Cibola High School, and it's my pleasure to be introducing our Student Stakeholder Committee. These students have been selected based on their leadership and involvement on their respective campuses. And I'm happy to say we've actually received input from every campus within the district. And it was a privilege to see these students at work collaborating for a common cause. So as a district, we've received information from our staff and community stakeholders through various surveys and conversations. But the one thing we were missing was honestly our most important, and that was the students' perspective. And so this committee filled that void, and I'm excited for you guys to hear what they've come up with. So without further ado, to speak on the health and safety of our campuses, here's Genoa from Gila Ridge High School.
Hi, I'm Genoa. So coming back to school can be stressful for both students and parents during this time. So things that we think that can help relieve some anxiety in regards to health and safety of students and faculty is making it while on campus at all times. We also think several hand sanitizing stations across our campuses, like, and having students be responsible for cleaning their own desks once they get into their new classroom can help manage the spread of germs and can feel safe and secure while moving from class to class. We learning experience and bring back students little by little in order to limit the population of students on campus during the fall semester.
Thanks, Shanoa. To touch on quality teaching and learning, we have Isaac and Andrea from Bofa High School.
Hello, board members. My name is Isaac Navarrete, and I'm the student body president at Kofa High School.
Hi, my name is Andrea Galindo, and I'm the student body vice president at Kofa High School.
Here are our key points in quality teaching and learning. With hybrid learning in place, students expect a smooth transition from in-person to online learning. Scenario for the school year by the adults, staff, and parent effective environment.
One positive during the recent school closure was that students liked having options or choices to complete their desired assignments. Another included teachers that were understanding and willing to help students whenever they had questions or they didn't understand something.
Some issues that arose with the recent school closure include the lack of messaging given to students on managing some teachers within their Canvas works.
A solution to help students manage their assignments and know what to complete is training students on how to work Canvas. Allowing students to receive direct information from social media or programs like Remind improves communication and reduces relay from parents to students. Updated and accessible grades can motivate students to keep up their grades and reduce confusion on assignments.
Great job, Kings. And last but not least, we have Alec from Gila Ridge to talk a little bit about the social and emotional impact of reopening our schools.
Hello, hope you guys are doing good. I'm Alec Bustamante, the student body president at Gila Ridge High School. And starting off, I think something to consider is that students have new teachers. So the relationships aren't going to be there like they were when school closed in March. So I think we should really focus on building that teacher to student relationship during the beginning of the school. And students like structure and organization, including how-to instructions or videos on Canvas on how to use Canvas is, I think it's very important. It releases stress and anxiety about online learning. And then also teachers should reach out to students and parents that are unengaged because I think this will help students that have hard time with time management and focusing. And then just to end off, I want to thank Mr. Semler and Ms. Sheldall for the opportunity. And then here's Mr. Semler for the closing statement.
Thanks, Alec. And so just in closing, Mrs. Sheldall and I really relished the opportunity to work with our students to ensure every student involved in this committee received the recognition they deserved. I just wanted to name a few students that were unable to attend tonight's meeting. And so we had Jake Lofton and Riley Butler from Cibola High School, Alejandra Torres and Karen Vera of San Luis High School, Carissa Fielakowski and Jenna Montoya from Yuma High, and Osvaldo Pozo from Vista High School. And to the students, just want to thank you guys for all your hard work. It was an absolute pleasure, and you guys had some great ideas, and it was awesome to be able to talk to you guys. And to the cabinet and the board, thank you guys for all your support.
Thank you guys very much. Does any board member have any questions for any of the students or for Mr. Semler?
Can I just
Yes,
ask?
Ms. Thompson.
I'd like to ask, and it might need to come from Mr. Semler or one of the other students, because some of our connections, that's part of virtual, right? Some of them weren't clear, and I think Ms. Armijo really hit on some things. And Mr. Semler, I wondered, because I think it's spotty connection. Do you happen to have notes from her statement as far as the hand washing and different things that she talked about that students were interested in? And I think Mr. Navarrete also, some of his kind of clicked out, not just the connection. So I don't know if you can pick up on that, just so we have it from the student perspective.
For sure. So a few things that Janelle was talking about in regards to hand washing stations, just having them more accessible, whether that means bathrooms are all opened, and accessible, or we actually get hand sanitizing stations outside of classrooms or in major kind of walkways or hallways where they're high traffic areas where students are able to, just have those readily available. She also talked about having students actually clean their own desk on the arrival to a class, because then They just had the thought that when you're cleaning something you're going to use, something that you're owning it, you're just gonna, clean it a little better. And then you have that self-satisfaction of, hey, I did this, I know it's clean. And you're just a little bit more positive or confident in that regard. And a few things that Isaac was talking about in regards to quality teaching and learning. He was just talking about some of the positives of the online learning experience, and essentially wanted to, sorry, I'm pulling up his notes right now. Oh, he just wanted to make sure we had smooth transitions. That was the main point he had. When we're moving from in-person learning to online learning and just kind of having those hybrid days with this hybrid model, one of the biggest things students want was that structure, and they wanted the adults on campus to be confident in what was taking place. And so when the adults are confident, and by that I mean the teacher in the classroom or the administrators walking on campus, when you act with confidence, the students are going to be more likely to follow it. They understand that this is everyone's time trying to do a hybrid model, but ultimately when the adults on campus are confident in their actions, they said the students are going to fall in line. And so no matter what schedule or structure we decided to use, they just wanted to make sure that we were all in, everyone bought in, and we executed it accordingly.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Mr. Sandler.
Yeah, thank you.
Does any board members have any questions?
No, I just
Thank
have a
you.
comment. I
Yes.
appreciate all the input from the students, and I know a lot of work went into all of this, and it's neat to see all the schools come together and share your insights and how you're feeling, and what will make you feel more confident and comfortable. And I know things are ever changing, and I'm sure you'll be in contact. You'll be communicating with everyone to share your other ideas as you experience different things. So thank you. Well done, everyone. Thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you all very much. We appreciate your presentation and the time and effort that you put into this. Thank you very much.
And students, we're going to log you off, but if you would like to attend the rest of the meeting, you can certainly go to the yumaunion.org and go in via that way from the Facebook, or go to Facebook Live and continue this exciting meeting. But I will be contacting all of you students down the road as the superintendent to look at working with you further as we continue on this process together. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Item 3.1, budget update, the overview of the 2019-2020 Yuma Union High School District internal budget. Ms. Cordery, your turn.
All right, so as of June 30th, we have spent 80% of our M&O budget, so $62 million of a almost $78 million budget. Please keep in mind that even though this says 100% for the current month, we still have an encumbrance period of July and August that we still could get bills that would come in for old year, and they'll still be applied to old year. So that is not it's not our finish line. That's not where we're going to finish. We will have some other expenditures come in, but for right now, we're at 80%. And then for our capital, we are at 42%. So we've spent $3.5 million of an $8.5 million budget.
Any questions for Ms. Cordery? Ms. Kravitz?
I'm sorry, I have a question. Diane, when something goes over, it's at like a plus 100%, so 110%. Where do we get that money from?
So it all within this budget, so in M&O, for example, it's all considered one account. We break it out into individual budgets, but if one goes over, then somebody else is under, and that helps neutralize that.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Lotta?
Question here.
Yes.
Where it says governing board,
Yes.
it's real easy for somebody to think this is what we get paid.
That's your slush fund.
No, I mean,
Not salaries. Salaries are on the first page.
Oh, I know.
And you're zero.
So why does it say governing board?
Because by law, we have to have a governing board account by our USFR, which is our guidance of how we have to do account, how our codes are done. So we have governing board, and there's specific when you go look at that document, there's specific things that get charged there. For example, elections. The reason it's so high is we leave that amount in there every year for the elections, even though we only have it every other year. That's why it's low, your expenditures this year. But elections, auditing, those kinds of things, that's what gets charged there, and we're required to charge that to the governing board.
Just easy for somebody to think that we're making this when we're not. We want to clear that up.
Yes, that is
You didn't get your
absolutely
paycheck, David?
You do not get
Well, it
paid.
bounced.
No, it didn't.
Just kidding.
No.
Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Cordery? Thank you, Ms. Cordery. Appreciate it very much. Going to item 4, consent items. Adoption of items of a routine nature and those that normally do not require deliberations on the part of the governing board. A board member may pull items which will then be discussed and voted on separately. Is there a motion? Is there anything that needs to be pulled from the consent agenda? Okay, is there a motion to?
We have a. Yes, 197, please.
On which? 197 on?
197 on the HR.
Which is routine 4.2.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept the consent items with the exception of 4.2, number 197?
So moved.
I second.
Motion made by Mr. Gwynn, seconded by Ms. Kravitz to accept the consent items as presented with the exception of item 4.2, number 197. Is there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. To 5.1, discussion and possible action on reopening consideration plan for Yuma Union High School District to action deemed appropriate by the governing board. Ms. Thompson.
Thank you. We're going to share the screen from Mr. Patton's computer and walk through our Yuma Union High School District returning to learning plan. But I want to clarify and qualify everything that is said. This is in the moment that we are in currently right now at 5:38 on this night. This is our plan for a return to learning. Every single day it feels that something changes or more information comes around, and it can be frustrating, but we are looking at this as opportunities for Yuma Union High School District to really strengthen the way that we offer personalized learning and individualized instruction. And I want to say I'm very proud of the work that we've done since March 13th from our immediate pivot into online learning. And while we know this isn't everyone's choice, and none of us ever thought this would come about, but we are continuing our work to offer the highest level of instruction that we can possibly offer. So with that, one more time, this is the plan as of this moment. And my only reluctance at sharing a plan is because it feels like every day something changes. So I'm going to qualify everything with life seems to be in draft form right now. And so we will make changes and updates, but everything that we have, the most current and up-to-date information will always be on yumaunion.org or your campus website.
Okay.
No,
I'm sorry.
that was just my first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Come on now.
I wasn't going to call for a motion. I was just going to expand on
Oh, okay. You were going to take over?
No, I was going to expand on your comment.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I will wait. I'm a good newbie.
Oh, thank you. So our learning models, and I really want to, again, state that right now, as of August 6th, this is the beginning of our learning model. And right now, the dates look to be the 6th through the 16th. But that end date is of the distance learning is subject to change. So with that distance learning only will continue as we did in March, and we will continue with teachers delivering instruction through Canvas, and students will be receiving the way to pick up their device at their campus. All of those plans are in the works, and all the netbooks have been worked on for cleaning and cleaning up and getting ready for handing them back out again, so that students can receive those devices from their campus. Again, this is to help jumpstart our students. We know that everyone wants to be in school with their teacher and be face-to-face, just like I wish we were all in the same room together for this meeting. So that's where we're at for the learning model and the reason we're going distance learning only. The learning models after August 17th, there's family choice. Everyone is approaching this time of this pandemic a little bit differently, and we know that choice is important. So right now, the different choices that we have, and we do have various ways of approaching it, but families will have to choose what's best for them in their current situation. So the distance learning model can be continued 100% virtual. If families choose to enroll students in that option, they'll be served through Yuma Online Distance Academy or potentially through Canvas with their teacher, again, depending on the individual family choice and where they are with their teacher. We hope to offer the hybrid learning model as well starting August 17th, and I'll go about that in a couple of slides, but there will be choice. I'd like to just expand a little bit on Yuma Online Distance Academy. If you've been part of our district in the past, you may have heard it referred to as YODA, but YODA actually stands for something different than Star Wars, and it is Yuma Online Distance Academy. It's actually been in existence as an Arizona online instructional platform in Yuma Union High School District since 2008, 9, somewhere in there. And it's been an ongoing work in progress, but we are actually affiliated with Mesa Online Distance Learning. So we operate under that umbrella. It is professionally done. It is its own line, its own school, and it is all online. If a family chooses to go Yuma Online Distance Academy, they are still a member of Yuma Union High School District, but it is a virtual only platform, and your classes would be continued through YODA for that entire course. And under the governor's new policy for education, this counts as in the seat for our 40-day, 100-day count. Yes, and the another for clarification on that, because we were approved for an AOI in 2007-8, somewhere in there. So we've actually had this ongoing. We weren't in that bank of schools that had to create it. It's very mature, I guess is my point. Some places had to create their online distance academy like right now on the spot, and it's very detailed. It's a lot of work. It's a whole different way of teaching and learning. So, fortuitous for us to have had this in place for over 12 years now. It is a rigorous way to offer courses, and it has a lot of interaction from the student with an online instructor and ways to communicate with families as well. But you are a member of our district. Ms. Kravitz?
Two things. Gina, what is an AOI?
It's an Arizona online instructional program, and it's actually referenced in legislation. I'm not familiar with the entire history of it, but you had to have approval to even have this type of learning and be, and that you would still receive funding for these students.
Okay, thank you. Sometimes those letters get all jumbled together. I don't know what they stand for. And the other question that people have been asking as this is sort of leaked out is, let's say that you choose one option and you're not happy with it. Can you change mid-semester, or do you have to, are you committed the whole semester?
So Yuma Online Distance Academy, because it's an actual school, Once you enter that, we ask students if you're not progressing at around day 20, 25, somewhere in there, if that doesn't work for you, then you need to contact your counselor. After that, the district is quite frankly charged. So we offer this without charging our families. But once they get past a certain date, if the student decides to drop out, then we get billed for it. So we do not want to turn that around and bill the family. We prefer to just, if it doesn't work for you, then we need you to contact your counselor ASAP.
Do you think,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. Do you think that we could ask Eric to add the add drop countdown maybe on a website or something like that, just to kind of keep it in families' minds?
We can put a little note on that, but actually it's going to be their campus counselor and the student. That's because every student enters into things at different times. They might not start there on August 17th. They might decide to stay campus for a while. And some kids even do some, in their home school and add Yuma Online Distance Academy. So it really is the student and the family that need to be proactive. It's not face-to-face every day with their counselor or a teacher on site. And it's just different for every single child. But certainly the counselors do a really nice job because quite frankly, they're very frugal as well, just like all of us. Mm-hmm. And they don't want Yuma Union to be charged for something that the service was not used by the student.
Okay, thank you so very much.
Mr. Long?
So let's see if I understand. So there's an additional charge for the students that want to take classes online?
Through Yuma Online Distance Academy, yes.
Okay, so it's an additional charge, and if it's not working for them, and they decide to go back to the class, we still get hit.
No, we won't be, because that's why we stopped that at day 28 or something like that, whatever the magic
date is. So if they go back to class, we don't get charged.
It's a wash.
Okay.
Yeah. We learned it the hard way.
Any other questions?
Well, yeah, one last one. I'm curious here because you're ahead of the game, and you mentioned 12 years ago?
Yes, we've had Yuma Online Distance Academy for about 12 years now. As a matter of fact, when I started as an associate superintendent, and Ms. Cordery is, of course, the historian on all of this, but our goal was to actually build this out as, to continue it. And now we're just really lucky that we've had this, but it's been a lot of work. I know people don't understand, we keep talking about funding. Every different thing you do in education has a different funding model and different rules, and it's just been a huge, long learning process, but we could not do this and be financially responsible for it if it wasn't for our counseling team, and they keep kids on track with this.
But my question is, since you were ahead of the game, what was the reason that you had this in place? And no other schools did.
It was a competition reason.
We are a little competitive,
yeah.
Yes. There was a timeline, but also, I know again we aren't always thinking this way because we're very blessed in Yuma with some of the things that we have and other places don't. But it was actually a very innovative concept at the time, and it took a lot of work and just a lot of planning. But for 20 years, we've been on this road and on this journey of personalized learning and really individualizing instruction and trying to offer families choice. Even when you don't like all the choices, you have choices, right? And so even then, we were looking to how that we could offer for different students that might be ahead of the game, or they might want more, or we have students that travel a lot and they're not able to get to in-person instruction, and we wanted to keep them as part of our district, but allow them to take online instruction. So it's been every child, right? Every student, and everybody takes a little bit different.
And it worked out well.
It has worked out well. It is a rigorous academic environment. It's definitely not easy. It's coursework like everywhere, and we're very proud of it. And also, I just wanted to call out as well that, and I think it's in the fourth bullet there, that students are enrolled in the program for YUHSD. They remain eligible to compete in athletics. at the school in their attendance zone which they reside, or at the school where they established eligibility prior to YUHSD online programming. So this, unlike some other district or organization outside of Yuma Union for an online platform that you would not be a part of our district, with Yoda, you are still a part of our district, so you get those extra features that you're used to, and again, meeting the needs of all families. So finally, on the bottom of this particular slide, and this is an important feature to note, that, you know, again, where there's choice, families need to look at what's best for them. But if families choose an online option only outside of Yuma Union, so if Yuma Online Distance Academy is not the choice, Canvas learning, distance learning, if those are not your choices, we understand that, but a family would need to make an appointment at their school to withdraw from Yuma Union High School District. And we will, at that point, give you your transcript so that you can enroll in whatever other district or online school that you're attending. But our counselors will not be providing guidance. They're not accessible. That would have to go through this other organization. We don't counsel for other organizations. So a withdrawal would be necessary because you're not allowed to be in two districts at once. And we need to keep track of our students and serve our students. Ms. Kravitz?
Thank you. So if we're in, if a student is in, let me start that all over, I apologize. If the student is in Yoda, do they still have access to our counselors, like the counselors at the child's home school?
Yeah, and we really want them to talk to their counselors. High school coursework, high school choice of classes is really critical as students progress. This is their last ride. That transcript is their ticket to the next place, and we want it to be accurate, and we want them to have the best classes that they have for their career pathway. So Yuma Online Distance Academy, the counselors help you select the appropriate course.
Okay, thank you so much.
Any other questions? Okay, proceed.
So we have yet another, because we have a feature partner out there. We're very proud of our relationship with Arizona Western College. We call each other our premier partner. And I wanted to make sure that we call this out as another online learning option. Fall semester for AWC begins on Monday, August 17th. Students can take Arizona Western College classes for $25 per semester credit. With our concurrent enrollment that has been articulated with Arizona Western College over the years, students can obtain credit toward high school diploma at the same time that they are working to earn college credit. So you can get kind of a twofer when you're taking that college course or college courses. So students for Yuma Union High School District who are in grades 9 through 12 can enroll concurrently for Arizona Western College courses. And then those students obviously have to meet their eligibility criteria, but we'd really like for students who are looking at that next level challenge or that next level or even a different learning option, you're still affiliated, you're still a part of Yuma Union High School District if you look at one or more than one class as part of your online learning options as well through Arizona Western College. I'm going to put Mr. Brienza on the spot because he's our.
He was falling asleep there.
No, we're always thankful when we have some of us that have kids in the moment, right? So I'm going to put Tim on the spot because I think you're looking at the Arizona Western College experience, if I'm not mistaken.
He just looks like he fell asleep.
Yeah, it just looks like it. I have new Wi-Fi, so we're good. But I shared with Ms. Thompson and Ms. Anderson yesterday that it was a very large bill, I thought, for some classes. My daughter's going to be taking 4 classes at AWC. And I'm like, there's no way I'm paying this much. Then I did the math. I'm like, oh, it's $25 a credit. I'll gladly pay that. So definitely as a parent, I've been taking advantage, and my daughter's been taking advantage and using those in conjunction with the great classes we have in our district for a well-rounded education.
Thanks, Mr. Brianza. Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but, and again, your high school counselor is the person that you would speak to about that.
Ms. Kravitz?
Sorry, one more thing about the counselors. How would families go about, or students, or families, I guess, go about making appointments while we're doing this hybrid or remote? How would they contact the counseling department?
So again, we're gonna, what is it, July 8th? So they actually are still in some type of summer vacation, even though they've been working nonstop. So I will tell you that the guidance directors come back the 14th and starting to contact the guidance department secretary around the 14th of July is going to be the best time to start making those appointments. And I know everybody's trying to make a plan and create a plan right now, but they really haven't had any time away, so I'm trying to give them that time right now.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. So now comes kind of the next one. This is a sample. I didn't know how many different ways to put sample, draft, and again, I know this is where we are in this moment, and I want to publicly state that I know this isn't what everybody wants or what it may not even be the end result, but we've worked with teachers, staff, just trying to, we've also worked with our county health department, trying to find best practices, if you will, and also trying to align somewhat with District 1, since the majority of our students also go to District 1, and we share transportation with District 1. So to clarify, we're in a transportation consortium. We share buses and bus drivers to maximize the resources that we have and make it an affordable thing to transport students in such a large county. So this hybrid schedule is a sample that's been worked on by counselors, teachers, and we've shown it to some of our students. Monday and Tuesday at this point, we would be looking at students with the last name of A through L. They would be experiencing 3 periods a day. And they would stay as a cohort group for 2 days. They would have longer periods of time with their teachers for more, trying to get more time, also lab time, all those different things that high school involves. Also trying to make smaller groupings for food services for our student nutrition aspect. High school is just a very interesting thing to plan for. There are so many different considerations and just so many things that high school students do and are a part of. This model allows for fewer transitions, so fewer needs for PPE and cleaning supplies during the day. It allows for the same cohort to come back and forth 2 days in a row, keeping those students together. The middle day, we're looking at an online only, inviting small groups in for students who need individual supports and supplemental learning, and that would be ideally through teacher. But this day in the middle allows for our custodial staff to do a really deep clean to prepare for cohort 2. And then we're at the place thinking of last names M through Z with the same type of model. Now we know that that isn't going to work for every child. We know that some people won't be able to come back at all due to health concerns and considerations and what they feel. That's why we want to continue with the distance learning as a potential. But looking at this schedule and recognizing that teachers are the ones delivering instruction, teachers cannot work 24 hours a day, and we need to be mindful of what they can provide. So we are still playing with this. And again, I'm presenting this tonight, knowing that all of our teachers have been on break and haven't had the opportunity to look at this in depth. So it may change, but this is our best work for now, and it is a sample of what it could look like, but it is not, it says sample. I want everyone to know that it most likely will change. So, and your individual needs would be met as best we can by the campus. We are looking at what is feasible and even possible. And we all want everybody back in person, but feasibility and possibility on campuses that are as large as ours and keeping everyone safe. And I just also want to remind us all that the teacher and the staff have to feel comfortable, confident, and they have to be protected, and that's our job. And so that's my main priority right now, is meeting with teachers and staff as they are returning. And what does this look like for you? Yuma, Arizona does not have a huge pool of candidates nor a huge pool of substitutes. So we want, we don't want to resort to something that isn't going to be the best experience for everyone, but we have to keep our staff safe and healthy and confident as we go into this new phase. Looking at health and safety, we've worked up some requirements. Again, this little PowerPoint, all the hours that have gone in, we have so many other notes and so many other things that we're putting in place and so much training that's going on, but just in the interest of time and keeping it shorter and knowing that we'll be updating it. But we will continue to work with state and local public health organizations. We have Diana Gomez is coming to meet with us again next Monday. Can't say enough great about her. We continue to work with different groups to order PPE and try to find the best supply chains. And then we also have to organize all of that and keep it inventoried. So it's just a huge process. But this will, our health and safety requirements will include that everyone will wear a mask at all times when on campus. Staff and teachers will have cleaning supplies and disinfectant in each classroom, and teachers will remain socially distanced throughout the day. So if that means that we're creating a 6x6 box for the teacher and nobody comes into their box, then that's what that's going to look like in order to make them feel the healthiest and the safest that we can make them feel.
So all students have to wear a mask?
Every student will be asked to wear a mask, yes. And we are in the process and have been in the process of ordering masks for those who cannot provide. I continue to have parents, and I'm so thankful for them. What can we do to help? What can we do to help? And my answer is talk to your child about how important the mask is going to be when we come back into in-person learning. Continue to talk about washing your hands. If you don't feel well, that we stay home. And I think for all of us, right? Like when we're not in front of our parents, maybe we relax our rules a little bit, but to really talk about that this is for the safety of everyone, our family as well. So even when mom and dad or, family isn't there watching you, you still need to practice all of this. But we're needing everyone's cooperation in order to even get to this day. And I think for some of us, it requires a lot of practice, learning to wear a mask and remembering to wear a mask. And we know that not everybody has access to that, so we are trying to make sure that we have plenty on hand. But if you want to know how to help, if you have access to masks and personal things that your child can keep in their backpack just for their own hand disinfecting and things like that, not telling you that we have to have you do that before you come back, we will be helping with that as well. Ms. Kravitz.
Is there a specific type of mask that you're going to require, or is any face covering okay?
We're going to have different things available. It's more about how you wear the mask.
Okay.
But we also have had other types of guidance about masks. So it won't be a specific mask, but it's more about how you wear it and making sure that it fits appropriately.
Okay, thank you.
So students aren't the only people that come to campus, right? So I want to talk a little bit about how to visit campus. I'm going to be very clear that we are restricting access to our campus to essential business and emergencies. So if someone needs to access It would be expected to have an appointment unless it's a registration time where it's already set up. For instance, when you go to get your schedule and your netbook or Chromebook to pick that up. But unless it's scheduled differently, where we will be requesting by appointments. Anyone that attends will be asked to wear a mask. There will be a sign-in at the reception desk of the respective campus. There'll be an area to wait and be socially distanced. And we will ask that you limit the number of guests to one person per family whenever possible. We know that sometimes that's not possible, but one adult and the student at the high school will be our request. So as you know, in Yuma Union High School District, student nutrition has been an ongoing work since March 13th. We know that student nutrition is one of our primary aspects because kids need to have full tummies in order to learn. And again, this is one example area that changes like quickly. Last week, you know, we had one piece of guidance that you could only eat in person on the campus, and you know, and then overnight, because of the situation, new rules come about. So first, I want to thank our student nutrition, Grace Pruitt, for all of her leadership. We have not missed a beat. We have not missed a day of offering meals for families, and it's only because her staff was willing to be out in the heat or the wind or the cold or whatever it was since March 13th making this happen. So we will be providing no-cost breakfast and lunch to all of our students during 2021 school year. And again, through Arizona Department of Education regulations, when the student is not physically at school, so whether it's distance learning time or if we're able to go back with the hybrid schedule or in person. But if the student is not physically at school, they will be permitted to pick up meals by providing their student ID number at the drive-through lane, and they pick up the meals from the school they attend. That's not negotiable because that's a rule. So the student ID number is associated with a specific school, and that's the Arizona Department of Education and probably a federal rule, I'm assuming. So I would assume people will want to know, well, how do I get my ID number? If you're a returning student, you're going to have the same student ID number. If you're a freshman, then the campuses will be giving out information with your new student ID number. It will not be the one that you had as, well, it might be if you were in District 1. That's the same one, the same ID number if you're in District 1? Yes. Yeah, so if you're District 1, you probably keep the same ID number, but other than that, it'll change. So some other questions have come to us, and we're really thankful for the questions that come out. And again, just letting everyone know that we understand these questions, and we do have people working on this regularly. And there will be information going out to families. But for our students with disabilities, you know, we know that we are responsible for ensuring equitable learning opportunities, and that we will do that, and that the learning needs, including their social emotional needs, will continue as it's stated in the IEP and 504 teams work wherever possible. But the return to learning plan relies heavily on the decisions made by each student's IEP and their 504, depending on their need. So to be clear, that the parents must be involved in decisions about individual child's placement. We not only want parents involved and guardians involved, they must be involved. So there's quite a bit of information here on the IEP team and what they do, and that special education teachers have been and will continue to collaborate. We know that some students won't be able to necessarily exist in any of the models that we've provided, and we have staff that will continue to work as they have with parents in that realm. We also have English language learners. Again, they will continue to collaborate with their mainstream teachers. The lesson supports for those students, are going to be both physical and virtual. And again, the ELL teachers continue to provide the level 1 English learners with their language acquisition, both physically and virtually. It's not as smooth, and it is definitely a challenge, but our teachers have all been meeting those challenges. So finally, we are faithful, forever faithful. I think these guys probably all get sick of me stating it, but the word every is just about set in my language every day. And we all feel this as our core value and our core mission. So it is still our ongoing mission, whether we're in-person school or virtual, that every student graduates college, career, and community prepared. So while it doesn't feel like it, this has been an opportunity for us to all grow and work together. And we believe that personalized learning is going to be a huge part of our students upon graduation. This experience has not only highlighted inequities of access, but it has also highlighted the need to provide even more experience with online learning, depending on the choice of students in their profession after graduation. So we will be continuing to provide updates, but there is never a better place to go than your campus counselor, your campus team. Even if they don't have the answer right away, we will be getting back to parents and families and providing those answers. So questions?
Ms. Kravitz?
I just have a comment really, which is thank you. Thank you so much for giving us something. Thank you for giving us hope for this incoming school year. Thanks to the students and the teachers who have helped and voiced their opinions. Thanks to the parents who reach out to all of us and all of you. And mostly, I am very grateful for all the choices that our community has. And gosh, I hope you get a good night's sleep tonight.
I interrupted you early. You had something.
You were fine. On this item, its action is deemed appropriate by the governing board. I'm not sure. I don't believe that we have to take any action. This is within the realm of the superintendent and her staff's prerogative. If we want to take some action of encouragement and understanding that this is a snapshot of a moment in time and has flexibility to change at a moment's notice, because the rules are going to change between now and the time school starts. There's going to be things that happen to affect changes. So this is not in concrete. This is a roadmap. And again, following along Ms. Kravitz, there's been hundreds and hundreds of hours put in by staff and students to come up with this plan and working on it. And I am also greatly appreciative of Ms. Thompson and her team that have worked so hard to get our students back in school. They need to be back in school. They want to be back in school. The parents want them in school. They've been out by the time school starts almost 5 months. That's a long time to be without a learning. So I'm very grateful for this major step and giving hope to get back. I would like to see us at 5 days back in the classroom as soon as possible. But I realize that we've got to take baby steps to get there, and there's just a lot of concerns. So anybody else, and then whatever action, if we think we need to take some action.
I would like to just add thank you. I know there's just been hours and hours in considering all the different dynamics that go into creating this plan and how large of a district we are. And we have to think about busing and lunches and so many different things. And so I appreciate the team and the students and everybody that have put this sample together. So as I would like to move that, and I don't, Board President, you can correct me if I'm on the right track here. I'd like to approve that we accept the return to learning plan, sample plan, hybrid plan as the governing board.
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion has been made by Ms. Mellon, seconded by Mr. Lotta to approve to accept the return to learning plan. Do you want to have that state understanding that there probably will be changes that will need to be addressed as we move forward?
Yes. And I don't know what draft is, or
okay.
flexibility.
Approve the draft plan?
Yes.
Approve the draft plan? Okay. Is that okay with you, Mr.
Yes.
Laura? Okay. Motion has been made by Ms. Mellon, second by Mr. Laura, to approve to accept the return to learning draft plan as it was presented tonight. Is there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Laura, did you vote aye?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. I do have a comment or a question, and I know you've already got it in the plan. This, of course, I'm sure will be in the newspaper probably tomorrow or the next day. But I'm sure you have an information blitz plan to get this out to the public through Facebook, through social media, the website. I know you've been on radio quite a bit.
Yeah, we've met all kinds of new people.
And you have plans to go back.
Yes,
Yes.
and this will be posted as of 4:00 tomorrow in English and in Spanish on our website, this actual slideshow. And we will continue our radio campaigns, and we have definite steps to continue getting information out. We will be using our website, radio, and direct communication to families as our main information source.
Okay. I know all the radio stations have been very generous with allowing you.
We are really excited. I'm gonna just say that we're super excited as well. Mr. Patton is now working with Campesina, and I'm really excited about the work that is just around the corner with them as well.
Okay.
Do you speak Spanish?
No. But I know lots of people that do.
Yes, translators. Okay, very good. Thank you all very much. Moving on, item 5.2, consideration to approve the resolution with all in education. Action deemed appropriate by the governing board. Do you want me to read the resolution before we consider it? Have you all read it? Okay, it's posted with the agenda on the website for those that want to read it. Do you think I should read this I will read it.
Yeah.
It's lengthy.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, all in education, all in for Arizona's future framework for advancing equity. Community pledge and call to action. Arizona Latino students are the fastest growing demographic bloc in the state, representing 46% of the overall student population, and the economic success of our state is dependent upon their achievement. However, Latino youth have experienced a persistent gap in equitable opportunity to the adequate resources needed to achieve academically and ultimately earn a living wage career. Additionally, Arizona low-income families and communities of color have been disproportionately impacted by inequitable policies, practices, and programs for far too long. These inequities have spanned issues like education, workforce development, housing, immigration, healthcare, and have resulted in large populations of disconnected and disengaged youth of color in our state. Our organization, the Yuma Union High School District, values, honors, respects, and loves every student, family, and educator who calls Arizona home. We hold a firm belief that all students can graduate high school, obtain a college degree or certificate, and earn a living wage career when their families and local communities are provided the appropriate resources to support their success. Yuma Union High School District is committed to advancing equity in the state of Arizona by practicing it within our organizational structure, and as we support policies, practices, and programs that position low-income families and communities of color in Arizona to thrive. Therefore, Yuma Union High School District adopts the attached All In for Arizona's Future framework for advancing equity to ensure we are practicing equitable decision-making processes when supporting policies, practices, and programs that impact students and families in Arizona. The All In for Arizona's Future framework for advancing equity will ensure we ask critical questions, assess data, and engage the community to increase educational attainment for Latino students, students of color, and low-income families. By signing this pledge, our organization allows All In Education to publicly acknowledge our commitment to advancing equity in Arizona. Do you want to give a little background
I
on
would
this,
love to.
please?
I would love to. And I'm really proud of this because the person who actually invited me to be a part of the initial work, it was more of a thought group. But Stephanie Parra is the executive director of All In Education, and Stephanie is Yuma grown girl and is doing amazing work in Phoenix and is actually a board member for Phoenix Union High School District. So really excited to have worked with her over the last months. And I bring this to the board because it supports the work that has been ongoing in Yuma Union for decades. This resolution is actually something that is already in our DNA as far as our district, and we continue to invite others to be more like us, quite frankly. We know we have work to do, and the day that we think that we're perfect is the day that it's time for somebody else to come on board. We know that we are forever getting better and better at reaching every student, and that's because we listen. And that was why it was really important to me to be a part of this particular group, because I wanted to learn from others about what they were doing and how we could do even more to reach every student. And just a real quick example of how already this work has helped us. I was at a meeting, virtual meeting, with superintendents in Tucson and Phoenix and community members from those areas. And Stephanie had done a survey in our community as well as Tucson and Phoenix. And it came out just some of the things that parents were not hearing, and that they felt some disconnecting pieces there, and they weren't sure what was really going on. And of course, as I'm sitting there listening, I immediately want to fix it, and I'm thinking of all the things that we do. But at the same time, I had not done a communications audit, if you will, of what do we do to communicate with every single parent, and how do we know if every parent is getting the information? And just that simple thought of we can do better is what allowed us to then begin our work with Campesina. It has allowed us to realize that, Facebook is not always the most positive place to have a conversation and teach people things and give information. So we were lucky enough, like within a day, Mr. Patton had reached out, and we have done 5 different radio broadcasts and have really reached so many more people. And so, that's just one little example of the resolution isn't about something big. It's about making us better and taking next steps to be better and better every single day at the work that we do. But this is nothing, in my opinion, that is different than our mission anyway. And I'm excited about it, but I want to assure you that we're already on that road when we've been on it for decades.
Any questions or comments?
Because that explains it.
Hope so.
No, yeah, you did. I was going to ask,
Why?
Why have it if you're already doing it?
Right.
If you were already doing it. So.
It allows us to be a part of a bigger piece, and also, just an accountability piece for me to make sure that I continue. We don't want to get lazy, right? We want to always keep doing better and better for our kids.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? Ms. Mellon?
Would you like a motion?
Yes, please.
I move that we, the Yuma Union High School District Governing Board, approve the All In Education, All In for Arizona Future Framework for Advancing Equity.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Mellon and seconded by Mr. Lotta to approve the resolution with All In Education, All In for Arizona's Future Framework for Advancing Equity. Is there any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. Consideration, item 5.3, consideration to accept donations. I don't have this on my list. I don't have the donations on this. I've got that page, but the list of donations to read.
It's right there. It's only one.
It's only one.
Oh, it's just the one. Okay, I'm sorry. Duh. Usually it's a whole separate page.
It's July.
Yes, it's July. It is recommended that the governing board accept the above listed donations. I will read the donation. To the Yuma Union High School District, Miss Gina Thompson donated Barnes & Noble gift cards for reading bingo. Each campus library was given a total of $175 in gift cards. The estimated value of the donation is $875. Is there a motion to accept the donation? Ms. Kravitz.
I'm having technical difficulties.
There you are. You're on.
Move that we gratefully accept this donation.
Second.
Did Mr. Gwynn second it?
Mhm.
Okay. Motion made by Ms. Kravitz, seconded by Mr. Gwynn to accept the above, accept the donation. Is there any questions or discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Gina.
Item 5.4, consideration to adopt the school district budget for 2020 and 2021. Ms. Cordery.
Okay, so I did go over in great length the budget at our last board meeting. So I will just hit the highlights just as a reminder of what this budget contains. First of all, we have a celebration of our average teacher pay increasing to $53,542. That is a 5% increase from last year, or $2,550. As a reminder, that is a 22% increase in the average teacher pay since fiscal year 18. So that is really a celebration. Our M&O, the budget for that has gone down 8.4%. It is decreased to $80 million. The reason for that is a conservative estimate of our carryover. I fully expect that to increase once all of our expenditures are in for the year. That number will go up when we do our next amendment. And our unrestricted capital has increased 13.4% to $12.5 million. That again is what we use for vehicles, equipments, and building needs. That has gone up again because of carryover. And finally, I just want to touch on the adjacent ways. As a reminder, we are levying for $800,000. We also did that last year, so we're not increasing that amount as it is included in the tax rate already. And that money, the reason that we are levying that money, as a reminder, is as we look down the road to build our future school in Somerton, we have needs for that. It can be used for things such as emergency access, roadways, things like that. So as we continue to build on that, we're going to levy for the next, well, we've levied last year, this year, potentially the next year, possibly two. We will continue for that for adjacent ways. That concludes my report.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, adopt the school district budget for 2020-2021.
Actually, can I add one more thing?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
There is one change in the adopted budget from the proposed that was brought to you last board meeting.
Okay.
If we look on page 2 of 8, we did change just for transparency, the number that I changed was the first line for total all disability classifications. That has increased to $6,750,000 and a decrease in the career and technical education to $2,815,000. That change was made in an effort to, or we needed to meet our maintenance of effort for special education. So that change is in there, and that's the only change that was made from the proposed budget.
Okay, Ms. Mellon, does your motion stand?
My motion stands, yes.
I'll second
Ms.
it.
Kravitz?
I second.
Motion. Oh, okay. Was that a second, or
No.
is there a second?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me read this. The motion was made by Ms. Mellon, second by Ms. Kravitz to adopt the school district budget for 2020 and 2021. Ms. Kravitz, you had a question?
Ms. Corderay, how does the district address the ever-changing funding formula in this crazy time?
Well, we do our best to estimate student counts and what we anticipate to be the number of students coming in. That's all formula driven once we establish that number. And then I do anticipate probably more amendments this year than what we've had in the past. We'll be doing more revisions to adjust as we go along, just to make sure we don't get to May and have any big surprises. So you may be seeing more of me in budget revisions this year.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
If I might add, this is my 12th year of listening to Diane's reports, and she's never run us out of money yet. She's done a great job.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Was that a yes or a no, Bruce? You were delayed. Okay. Motion carries unanimously. Next item is to approve the intergovernmental agreement with Pima County Technical Education District. It is recommended that the governing board approve the intergovernmental agreement with Pima County Career and Technical Education District. It's in your packet. Mr. Brienza, did you want to add anything to what's there?
Just basically that this allows us access to curriculum that other CTEDs are using across the state. And this allows us to continue doing great things for every student in our CTE programming.
Is there a motion?
I move that the governing board approve the Technical Education District.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Kravitz, second by Mr. Lotta, to approve the intergovernmental agreement with the Pima County Technical Education District. Is there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next item, let me get to it. There we go. Nope, that's still the exhibit. Consideration to approve the agreement to provide meal service to Educational Opportunity Center. This is a renewal. It is recommended that the governing board approve the agreement between Educational Opportunity Center and the Yuma Union High School District number 70 for meal service for the 2020-2021 school year. Mr. Brienza, would you like to expand on that in any way?
EOC Charter School does not have their own student nutrition department. So for the last 11 years, this will be the 12th year, hopefully, that our districts provided them meals throughout the day. They contract with us, so it does not cost us anything. And our student nutrition director, Grace Pruitt, works with Brian Grossenberg, their principal, to make sure that their students have what they need as well to be successful.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the agreement between Educational Opportunity Center and our school district number 70 for meal service for the 2020-2021 school year.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Kravitz, seconded by Mr. Lara. Let me get back. That the governing board approve the agreement between the Educational Opportunity Center and Yuma Union High School District number 70 for meal service in the 2020-21 school year. Is there any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Yes, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I can't believe how incredibly efficient it is to get all of this done within the nutritional service.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5.7, consideration to authorize the application for the proposed lot split agreement for the Somerton High School. This is for the Transfer Station Center Plan lot split. It is recommended the governing board authorize CFO Diane Cordery to execute the required documents to apply for the lot split for the property owned by Yuma Union High School District number 70, located in Somerton, Arizona. Ms. Thompson, Ms. Cordery, do you want to fill us in a little more?
If you recall, when we purchased this land, we had problems getting some pesticide covenants for all of it. We had certain areas that we were able to use because we had pesticide covenants. This basically excludes the part of the land that we don't have the pesticide covenants for. So if we can do a lot split and then we're not required to develop that property at this point because we're not able to use it. So at some point down the road, if we choose to use it for a transportation center, something not student related, then we can go and develop it at that time. But for right now, we're doing the lot split so we can just develop the part that we do have pesticide covenants for.
Any questions? Is there a motion?
I move that we, the governing board, authorize CFO Diane Cordery to execute the required documents to apply for the rezoning for the property owned by Yuma Union High School District number 70, located in Somerton, Arizona.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Mellon, second by Mr. Lotta, to authorize CFO Diane Cordery to execute the required documents to apply for the lot split for the property owned by Yuma Union High School District number 70, located in Somerton, Arizona. Is there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 5.8. Consideration to authorize the rezoning application of the parcel for the future Somerton High School.
Oh.
This is a change it's a change of zoning for government to build out. It is recommended the governing board authorize CFO Diane Cordy to.
I read the wrong one.
Yeah, I've got the wrong one.
I read the wrong one.
Okay. Yeah, it is. It is recommended the governing board authorize CFO Diane Cordery to execute the required documents to apply for the rezoning of the property owned by Yuma Union High School District 70, located in Somerton, Arizona. Is there a motion?
I so move.
Was that a motion?
Yes.
I think that was
Sean.
Motion made by Ms. Mellon, second by Mr. Lara, to authorize CFO Diane Cordery to execute the required documents to apply for the rezoning for the property owned by Yuma Union High School District number 70, located in Somerton, Arizona. Is there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Anybody have anything for a future agenda item? Hearing none. Our next meeting, we will have a special meeting here July 22nd, which is a Wednesday, I believe.
Yes.
At 11:30 a.m. It will be a virtual meeting on Facebook also. And then the next regular meeting will be August 12th, 2020, 5:15, right here, same time, same station. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Motion made by Ms. Kravitz to adjourn. Second. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all for